What would you do if your teacher suddenly showed up at your house at night? How would you react if your best friend stole your crush right in front of you? Can you imagine sneaking into school after dark and getting caught? My name is Gabby. In real life, I am a relationship coach. And after so many people asking me their advice on school dramas, secret crushes, and more, I thought I'd get started here on YouTube to share the juiciest stories while doing my best to create a new world. Every video, I'll be reading real stories that you guys send in, as well as playing survival Minecraft. The stories always start wild and get even crazier by the end. If you want to be part of it, drop your own story in the comments, and who knows, maybe you'll hear it in an upcoming video. On the Minecraft side of things, I've been playing for many years. If anything, it was my entire childhood, so I thought it would be best to start with a fresh new world, using some quality of life mods, Distant Horizons, Fractured, Sodium, and Iris shaders, to name a few. If you are curious about the mods I'm using, I'll put a link to the full mod list in the video description. Alright then, let's get things started. We'll begin by exploring this new world and finding an ideal village to set up. I like to play Minecraft a bit unconventionally. I have villagers do the work, while I focus on trading and leveling them up to get overpowered items. So we'll find a nice village, surround it with walls, and begin breeding villagers. By crafting their job blocks and living spaces, you can quickly create an army of villagers who will sell you lots of overpowered items. While we look for the ideal village, let's begin by reading our first story of the video. What would you do if your teacher suddenly showed up at your house at night? This story was submitted by Claire in America. Well, that happened to Claire. I walked into the kitchen for a quick midnight snack, for a bowl of cereal before bed. Then sitting at the dining room table and laughing was my mum and my maths teacher. Let's call him Mr. X. So there is Mr. X and my mum, both chatting it up like they're a couple of old friends. Mr. X smiles and says, "Grab a bowl and join us." I sat down to be polite, but I was in complete shock and felt a little queasy to know that my mum had obviously just been on a date with my maths teacher. Some backstory. My mum is single and has been for quite some time. She had only recently started dating again. And when we went to a teacher conference, she met all my teachers and had a tour of the high school classrooms. That's where she first met Mr. X. I didn't know it at first, but now I'm sure that's where this all begins. Mum talked to Mr. X longer than other teachers that evening. And now I suspect they must have exchanged numbers. Mum had been going out with friends a couple times a week for the past month or so, and was always texting someone and smiling. I assumed she might have had a new boyfriend. I just didn't expect it to be my maths teacher. Back to that evening in the kitchen, the entire history of what might have happened is now playing out in my mind. Someone who I just did homework for is now putting the riz on my mum in the kitchen. This is so weird to me. If that wasn't awkward enough, the next day at school, Mr. X begins to call me by my nickname, the one that only my mum uses. My friends noticed, and the whispers started. The rumours started. The misery started. I just want to leave school and never come back. Mr. X began showing up at my house on the weekends. Having your teacher at your house on a weekend is like not leaving school at all. I felt I had to be on my best behaviour, like his authority at school extended itself to me while I was at home. It was so unbearable to feel so uncomfortable about something while I was still watching my mum be happy. She seemed happy in their relationship. I want to tell my mum I'm not comfortable in this situation. At the same time, I don't want to upset her and put her in a tough situation. What should I do, Gabby? Hey Claire, thank you for sending in your dilemma. I can imagine this would be distressing for any high school age girl. Honestly, I'd be devastated walking into my kitchen and seeing my teacher there, then hearing him use my private nickname at school the same day. That blurs lines no one wants to deal with. You don't need to judge this all by yourself. It really does come down to having an open, honest chat with your mum. Start by letting her know that you genuinely want her to be happy and that you see how much she's enjoying this new relationship. But alongside that, tell her how hard it's been for you. Explain that hearing your private nickname in class makes you feel uncomfortable and that your friends have started to pick up on it and tease you. It's not about shutting down her relationship. It's about protecting your own peace. What you can ask for are some clear boundaries, knowing ahead of time when he's coming over so you're not caught off guard. Having your room as a private zone, and most importantly, making sure he doesn't bring anything personal from your home into the classroom. That means no nicknames, no special treatment, and no references to what happens outside school. By sharing that with your mum directly, you can give her the chance to step in and set those boundaries with him. That way, you can focus on feeling comfortable again, while she still gets to explore her happiness. Well, that was quite the story. Let me know in the comments below what advice you can give to Claire about her situation. Comment story 1 and your answer. Put the most thoughtful response in a future follow-up video if Claire ever contacts me again about her situation. If you're enjoying these wild stories, check if you are subscribed. Sometimes YouTube sneaks in and untips it. Subscribing means you won't miss the next one, and honestly, it helps me a lot. Thanks, guys. Alright then, let's get into some Minecraft talk for a moment. I was just at a small village and it wasn't quite what I was looking for in terms of a starter base. So I'm now moving on to where I saw a pillager fort while standing at the top of a church tower earlier. I think I'll head in that direction, as there are typically villages within a few hundred blocks of those kind of structures. I'm not planning on fighting them just yet, instead I'll skirt their position, but keep along the boundaries of the forest and the plains biome, which should lead me to another village, and with it another opportunity for an ideal starter base. At least I hope so. Nice. This cave looks promising. Maybe we can find some easy iron ore while we're passing through. Oh, perfect. A bit of coal. Not what I was looking for, but a welcome sight nonetheless. I'll grab a bit of this while I'm here. Let's start the second story of the video. My best friend stole my crush right after I told him I liked her. This story was submitted by Jake in the lovely land of Ireland. How would you react if your best friend stole your crush right in front of you? That's literally what I was trying to explain to the high school principal while sitting in his office after getting in big trouble during lunch. I'd just been in a fistfight with my best friend. Yes, over a girl. All the silly things to fight over. Not my finest hour. Let's back up and give this some context before I get to the blow up. For privacy, let's call her Amy. Amy and I had been really close since primary school. We used to walk to school together, and then back home, rain or shine. Sometimes our classmate Thomas would tag along, and after a while, we became a little trio. A few more kids joined, and suddenly we had this nice, easygoing clique. After school hangs in the park, down the road, the whole thing. Then secondary school started, and life tilted. Amy's parents split. She moved in with her mum. This was several kilometres away, and we all ended up at different schools. The walk stopped, the park hangs disappeared, and we only checked in on social media now and then. We grew apart, she made new friends, and I went from seeing her every day to not seeing her for almost years. In her absence, Thomas and I got tight, best mates. We played games almost daily. Then last semester, curveball. Amy and her mum moved again, and she enrolled at the same secondary school as me and Thomas. And look, we weren't 11 anymore. Over the break, I turned 17. Last year of school, same for them. I figured maybe things would slot back into place, like the old days. But it was awkward, different. I started catching feelings. I've never had this before. I had a proper crush on my oldest friend, and I had absolutely no idea what to do with that. No experience, no playbook. So I told Thomas, my best friend, right? I admitted I liked her and asked, what should I do? He went weird and quiet. He didn't have much to say. He looked uncomfortable, even just talking about it. Next day at school, he barely looked at me. Lunchtime rolls around, and in front of our whole friendship group, he walked straight up to Amy and asked her out. I'm standing like a statue, and she says yes. My best friend just asked out my crush right in front of me. I felt gutted, betrayed. I tried to keep my cool and just walked out, kind of a silent protest at what I'd just watched happen. For the next few days, he texted me like nothing had happened, and Amy barely spoke to me at all. Finally, I snapped and confronted him. Said how much it hurt, that I'd trusted him, and he hits me with, if you snooze, you lose. And if you liked her that much, you should have done something sooner. The nerve. I couldn't believe it. I saw red, and punched him right there in the middle of lunchroom. Which is why I ended up in the principal's office to begin with. So, what do I do now? Stop talking to my friends? Try to move on? Okay, Jake, let's get down to some honest talk. Boys Fighting Over a Girl is a song as old as time, but swinging on a friend is never the move. Full stop. Start with clean accountability. I lost my temper and hit you. That was wrong. I'm taking the school consequences, and it won't happen again. Commit to zero violence going forward. That's you choosing good morals and making it safe for a real conversation to happen. Now, why did Thomas do what he did? It's likely he had the same feelings for Amy that you did. And you telling him about your crush probably made him panic, like a fuse got lit. In his head, it turned into a race, and he rushed him first. That explains the speed, not the sting. Ask for a calm, neutral chat, and lead with empathy before you talk pain. You could say, I get you liked her too, and freaked out when I told you. When you asked her out the next day, I felt blindsided. Then listen. Reflect back what you hear, so he feels understood, and only then spill out what you need from him as a friend. A big piece a lot of people skip. Amy isn't a prize to be won by either of you. She said yes because she probably likes Thomas. That's hard to swallow. Respecting her feelings matters as much as sorting yours. Keep any talk about her respectful and minimal. No play-by-plays, no turning her into a scoreboard, no pressure on her to manage your friendship. If you both want the friendship back, set a few easy guardrails. Keep PDA light around you for a bit. Don't use you as soundboarding about the relationship. And if feelings start to flare up again, you say it early and you decide together how to handle it without blindsiding each other. Close with goodwill. You matter to me, and I want us to be good. Own your part. Understand his. Respect hers. Well, that was quite the story. Please share your advice with Jake in the comments below. Comment story 2 and you'll answer. I'll put the most thoughtful responses in a future follow-up video. If Jake ever contacts me again about his situation, let's get back into some Minecraft talk. I followed the forest and plains biome to another village. And again, this one just isn't what I'm looking for. Luckily for us, there looks to be another village on the hillside, not too far from here. I'll gather resources here a bit, and then we'll make our way to the third village of the video. Hopefully, this next village has what I'm looking for. I'd really like to have a smithy in my village to help things going from my villager trading fortress. I can already tell from this distance that this third village looks much more promising. I can spot 2 smithies already, which is even better than I could have hoped for. It also looks like a much more compact village layout, which will make it easier to surround the village with walls and such. Perfect. This weaponsmith has a nice iron sword for trade. A very good sign this village is an ideal candidate for the village trading fortress. Oh, and this weaponsmith also has a good weapon too. What luck! Diamond horse armor. What luck! This village is definitely the place to be. I'll share the world seed in this video description so you can play along with me, as this village is already turning out to be quite overpowered. Oh, me a third smithy in this village. Absolutely incredible. Let's see what this weaponsmith has. Looting 1 sword? That's great. I'm definitely choosing this third village as our base of operations. I think I'll tame this horse, since I have the diamond armor and saddle. What do you think is a good horse name? I like Gerald. Seems like a proper regal name. Such a handsome horse. Did you know that Gerald means he who rules with the spear in ancient Germanic language? Diamond armor for a horse named Gerald is so fitting. Alright, it's been a couple of days in the game and I've gathered some wood and cobblestone just so we continue with our little project. As you can see, I've gathered quite a bit off camera. It should just be enough to build a wooden wall around the village to keep not only the monsters out, but also keep the villagers from wandering off and getting hurt. I think as we build the wall, it will be a good time to begin the third story of the video. We snuck into school after dark and got arrested. This story is from Mary in the USA. Can you imagine sneaking into school after dark and getting caught? Well, that's what happened to me last semester. I had left an important school project in my school locker for chemistry class that was incomplete. The problem was that it was due the next morning. Without it, I would most definitely not complete the project and fail my class. Of course, I was barely hanging on to begin with. Chemistry is not my strong point, that's for sure. So I did what any kid would do. I ran back to the school to get my project. One problem, however, the school was closed and locked up, with a big brick wall and metal bars between me and the open air lockers near the gym. My prized project just sitting in my locker, haunting me. Walls! How perfect for this point and time of the video. Unfazed by this obstacle, I climbed the walls and iron bars like a spider monkey, and not once thinking of the consequences of my actions. Little did I realise that just around the corner, a security guard was making his rounds on the school property. I must have been obvious, as he spotted me right away. Flashlight lit up on my position, and I heard a man yell, "Hey, get down off that wall. Get over here." I outright panicked and leaped down from the wall, and I ran as fast as I could towards the gym and the outdoor locker area. The security guard is hot in pursuit. I know my locker combination by heart. If I can just grab it and I can get out of there, I'll have some chance of saving my failing grades in chemistry. And I don't want to get grounded for the whole summer. How naive I was to think I could actually get away with it. Before I even had a chance to enter the first number into the combination lock, there is a flashing light in my face and a hand on my shoulder to restrain me. Caught like a rat. Security guard just repeats, "Are you crazy, young lady? And your parents are going to be very unhappy with you." Like I don't already know. The police came to the school and they had to call my mum and my dad to pick me up with a citation of trespass. My parents and the police both asked me why I tried to sneak into the school, and I explained the whole situation to them and how I will just fail chemistry without it. The police just laugh, and my mum is embarrassed. My father just stands in disbelief at how foolish I was. The security guard enters the chat and stoically points to a sign on the wall. A phone number is listed, on-site security. He calmly says, "All you had to do was call this number and I would have let you into your locker." I am completely and totally embarrassed. I had no lack of awareness. A sign I'd passed every day at school for 3 years. I never once bothered to read a sign that had the answer to all my problems. Am I doomed to be this clueless? Or is there hope for me, Gabby? My girl, what a crazy situation to land yourself in. Sneaking back into school at night is definitely a bold move, but not one you want to repeat. The stress of missing a project made it feel like climbing walls was the only option. But really, it just added police cars, citations, and a whole lot of embarrassment on top of chemistry homework. Next time, the goal is to avoid that spiral completely. Instead of breaking in, try building habits that keep you from getting cornered in the first place. Quick, end of day locker check before heading home can save you nights like this. If projects still slip through the cracks, talk with your mum or dad. They might be able to help you plan or remind you when big deadlines are coming up. Teachers too would much rather get an honest message the night before than a call from the police after hours. It doesn't mean you'll suddenly become perfectly organised. Trust me, I'm not. But even small systems can protect you from these wild choices. A planner app, sticky notes on your desk, or setting alarms for due dates can all keep your work on track. When you catch yourself panicking, stop and think, what's the safest, reasonable way forward? You don't need to scale fences to prove your commitment. You just need a little structure and some backup from the adults around you. That way, the only drama left is in the classroom, not in the parking lot at midnight. Well, that was definitely an interesting story. Let me know in the comments below what advice you can give to Mary about her situation. If you have any wild stories you'd like to submit for me to read in a future video, just send your story to the email listed in the video's description. I'd love to hear from you. Let's get into some Minecraft talk for a bit. Building a wooden wall around a village like this is definitely Zen relaxation for me. I just kind of space out and place the blocks in a random flow that feels appropriate, not really giving any thought to how it looks as an overall aesthetic build. My focus right now is just to secure this village from outside dangers and increase the villager population. I'll focus more on pleasing builds and beautiful aesthetics in future videos, as we'll be progressing this world in interiorations with each new video upload. Eventually, this place will be amazing, and it will have a villager trader fortress, and I'll have some elaborate base nearby. At least I hope to. Do any of you play like this? Exploiting villagers' trades? Capturing villagers? I don't know very many Minecraft players in real life to know whether I'm the weird one or not. I personally would like to think I'm the weird one, but that's just me. For anyone curious, I am playing Minecraft 1.21.8, the current and latest version of the game. I haven't yet written a happy ghast or interacted with a copper golem. I do plan on doing that just in future videos. Who knows, maybe I'll even defeat the Ender Dragon at some point in this series. We'll see. For now, I'll make the village a metropolis and have 100 librarians all wanting to buy my books and paper, and max-leveled farmers buying all my pumpkins and melons. The amount of emeralds I'll have by the end of this series would make Mr. Beast blush. Alright, that's the village properly walled off. Finally feels safe here. Next time, we'll make it even bigger, but for now, I think this is a good place to stop. If you want to be part of the next videos, drop your own story in the comments, and who knows, maybe you'll hear it in the next one. Also, please double check you're subscribed. It's free, and sometimes YouTube quietly unticks it, so make sure that button's still on. Once again, I'm Gabby. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.